Warale warale le, warale warale la, warale warale le, warale warale la, warale warale le, warale warale la.
One year, everyone. My name's Miss Aleisha, and I am the Indigenous Community Education Counsellor here at Tallawong State School. So I've come to talk about Reconciliation Day today, which is going to be on the 27th of May to the 3rd of June. That's when we celebrate it. This is celebrating 20 years when it first started, and the theme is In This Together. You can see that behind me. Reconciliation Journey is about the success of the 1967 referendum and the High Court Mabo decision, an important and historic event in Australian history for us. Reconciliation is a journey for all Australians as communities, organisations and importantly as a nation for more knowledge of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, rights to land and sea, embracing of our stories of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander success and contribution. Today we work together as a nation. So in the work from home packs that have been sent home this week, I've put an activity in there for everyone to get involved with. So that's not just for you, but it's for the family. So what we've got is a nice bright coloured piece of paper, and it has about In This Together. So we're not doing this alone, we've got to do it together. Trace your hand on the bottom of the piece of paper. Have a yarn to mum and dad and see what they think reconciliation is about, and then maybe make your own decision what it's about. I then want you to write it down in the middle of the hand and bring it back to school, because we'd love to put it up on a big display so everyone can see that we're all in this together.
One year, guys. My name is Jahmarley Dawson. I'm one of the Aboriginal school teachers here at Tallawong State School. Well, this week's coming up is our Reconciliation Week. What reconciliation means to me is recognising our culture. My people are the Aboriginal people of the Jahmarley Nation of New South Wales, and also the Wanya Nation up in the northwest part of Queensland, a place called Lawn Hill. So I like to recognise our cooking. We like to cook. We love kangaroo, emu, crocodile, witchetty grubs. We like to recognise our song and dance. Two of our most famous instruments that we use is the yidaki, the didgeridoo, and the clapsticks. And just our language. And like in my language we say, Yama, ungala yirinya, na yambale gonari, wandiwai tuchina. So just recognising our culture of the oldest living continuing culture in the world, the Aboriginal people. And by recognising that, we close the gap. And closing the gap is a very important thing in our culture, and making our country strong. And by recognising the First Nation people that come from this country, the Aboriginal people. So that's what I reckon Reconciliation Week means to me as a human and as a person of this of the great world and that we live in. So happy Reconciliation Week from me, Mr. Dawson, or known as Jahmarley, and to all the 600 families that come to this school. Yama ungala yirinya na yambale gonari wandiwai tuchina. We're all in this together. Happy Reconciliation Week. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name's Dakotah and I'm a proud Yuin woman from Wollongong, New South Wales, and I am here with the Artie Academy here at Tallawong State School. As for Reconciliation Week coming up, my goal as always is keeping you guys engaged and excited in school. And most importantly, being that friend and shoulder to lean on when you feel like you don't have it. So please don't be shy, come say hi, we are all in this together.
Hi everyone, it's Mr. Singh here. I'm Principal here at Tallawong State School. First of all, I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners, and from Tallawong State School we'd like to pay our collective respects to elders past, present and emerging. Look, from my perspective, I'm going to speak from two perspectives. I think one is as Principal of Tallawong State School. The other one is just another person on the planet, and obviously people can tell from my looks that I'm an Indian and the religion I am is a Sikh. The important thing about Reconciliation Week is recognising Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and their culture. So as someone who's come from overseas, I think it's important for people to understand from an international perspective the importance of acknowledging Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. And that is that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are not only the first peoples of this country, Australia, but they are also the holders of the longest continuous culture on the planet, which means that they have a particularly unique place in human history. Now, in terms of ongoing acknowledgement, at any particular time, I can jump on I used to be able to jump on a plane and go back to India, but I know that at any day, in any minute, my culture, my religion, my traditional way of life is being celebrated, lived in a particular place in the world. If I am of a Christian faith and I'm a Roman Catholic, I know that there is a place in the world, in Rome, in Italy, where the Catholic religion has its home and all of the traditional practices and knowledge is kept there. And the same goes for whether it's Buddhism or any other culture or religion, like maybe the Native American Indians, they have a home in North America. The thing is that if we don't acknowledge and recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture, what we're really saying is there's no place on the planet where they belong. And I'm sure that everyone as a human being would say that, well, that's not okay. Everyone has a place on this planet if you're a human being. So, we sometimes talk about other cultures and other peoples in Australia, and all of us except for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are essentially migrants. So the thing that we do need to acknowledge is if this is the home of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, the first peoples of this country, we need to acknowledge their unique place in the world and in history. And also as human beings, we need to acknowledge this is the oldest continuous living culture in the world. So there's a range of perspective that makes it important. I think the other reason why we really need to stop and think and appreciate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture and peoples at this point in time is what it's reminding us about how to live in harmony with the planet. Like at the moment we have had major bushfires, there's ongoing conversations about climate change, and also recently we've talked about under the COVID-19 issues is how we live together and support each other. All of these, if we sit and think, and with my limited knowledge of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and culture, this all actually is what their culture embodies, looking after the planet. So working in harmony with the planet, respecting animals and plants and the land and the seas and the skies, and also in terms of how to manage that. So if I look at some of the issues that arose during the tragic bushfires that we had this year, we heard a lot about how Aboriginal people used to manage the land, and now we're actually starting to research and talk with Aboriginal people about how we might better manage the forests in Australia through acknowledging and understanding how Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people used to do that. The other thing I think that COVID-19 has done is get to sit and think about what it means to have our connection with people and how we work together for things. And one of the things about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people is very much a sense of community, shared ownership and shared responsibility. Now, all of those are tremendous values, I think, for human beings in general. And so when we start talking about these things, we need to think, well, hang on a minute. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, there's some really good, solid parts of their culture and heritage which we can learn from. And also once we learn from them or acknowledge them, say at least acknowledge that, hey, yes, this was a culture which is not something that belonged in the past or before Australia was settled by Europeans, but actually is an important part of humanity and community as we move forward into the future. So I think it's a very important time, and I'm really thankful for the input we have from our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander brothers and sisters and uncles and aunties in our Tallawong State School community.
Warale warale le, warale warale la, warale warale le, warale warale la.